Hey, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. Subject I don't like talking about, but we're going to do it one more time. For the last few weeks anyway, I've been saying that I think this coronavirus is blown way out of proportion, and I'm going to give you an example of the insanity. So stay tuned. So for a while now, I've been talking about how blown out of proportion this whole deal is, and today I'm going to give you some examples. So I don't even know where to begin. This is a mess. I'm seeing reports of where lung patients that are needing intubated aren't being able to be intubated. People that are going to the emergency rooms with normal problems, not related to coronavirus, are having trouble getting seen. You know, we all know about the grocery stores, the toilet paper panics and stuff like that, and it's just getting out of control. They're not wanting to x-ray sick infants. At some point, common sense and decency has to kick in, and I guess that's the point of this video. Today I want to talk to you about well, I'm going to give you some examples of how this is blown out of proportion. Right now, pretty much everywhere in the country, I'm not aware of anywhere this isn't in effect. I'm sure there are some places. But right now, you go to a restaurant and you have to either do drive-through or takeout. You can't sit in the dining room. Now, the original logic behind this was that the coronavirus can live on a surface for up to 3 days. You put your arms on a counter like this, and if you had any kind of cuts or scratches on your arm, in theory, you could catch the coronavirus. Same thing with ketchup packets. Basically, you grab a ketchup packet. If the person before you that touched it had the coronavirus, if they had any kind of cut or sore on their hands, that virus could be transmitted to you for up to 3 days. There were some concerns about the mail and the the mail and UPS and FedEx and all of them. But what they found was most packages were in transit for enough time that the risk was very minimal. So it got me to thinking. And I asked a guy about this last night, pretty smart guy. I kind of ran it by him. And he said, well, let me tell you what I asked him, and then we'll get into that. I said, all right, they're not closing public restrooms, but they're closing public restaurants. So John Smith, John Doe, whoever goes to the bathroom, sets his bare butt on a toilet, uses the bathroom, and then sometime within the next 3 days, I go in there and use the bathroom, put my bare butt on the same toilet seat. Theoretically, couldn't I catch the disease the same way I could catch it in a restaurant? He said, oh, Todd, you don't understand. It has to be an open, he used big technical terms, I don't even remember the terms, but it has to be an open sore. I said, all right, truck stop, you got an overweight driver. Heck, I'm overweight, I'm not making fun of anybody. Got an overweight truck driver, maybe gets a little sweaty in the truck, gets a rash on his butt, sits on that toilet, and then I'm a little chafed also, and I sit on it. Theoretically, couldn't I get it from the toilet seat too if it's within a 3-day time lapse? And he ended up agreeing with me about that. So my question is, if this is such a big threat, if we need to inconvenience ourselves so much, inconvenience the medical community so much, if we all need to be in a panic, why aren't public restrooms shut down? Now, I know what some of you are going to say, well, Pennsylvania closed their rest areas. They did that because people were stealing toilet paper. And I don't know why they didn't just have a security guard or somebody there making sure people weren't stealing toilet paper. But anyway, it was done to keep the transmission of disease down at these restaurants. The social distancing, staying 6 feet apart, all of that was designed for our safety. Well, why are the public restrooms still open? If this is such a threat, if it's so deadly, and I'm not denying that it's deadly, people have died. If it's so contagious, why aren't public restrooms shut down? Well, Todd, everybody's got to go to the bathroom. Fine. Why don't we have an attendant in all of these truck stops wiping down every toilet seat after everybody uses it? Well, Todd, that's not efficient. Well, neither is what we're doing now. It's ridiculous. Now, this guy said what he does, and this is what I'm going to recommend to all you guys. This is just not a rant. He carries around alcohol and he sanitizes the seat before he sits on it. My wife also suggested some truck stops that have the toilet seat liners to use those, but I mentioned to her a lot of truck stops don't offer that. So it's just blown out of proportion so bad in my opinion, and I think it's going to end in the next couple of weeks. Obviously there'll still be sick people 2 weeks from now, but I think the panic's got to die down at some point. Obviously there's people that are taking advantage of this situation. There's companies and people that are profiting a lot off of it, but people are going to get tired of the chaos and panic, I think, here real soon. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I've got to sit here a couple of more hours before I can get unloaded. I've still got that toilet paper load, and then we'll see what's next. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.